Besides that, we are now building WebEx with Babel 7 and Webpack 4, and we are not transpiling anymore the async await function. That is another reason why we cannot be compatible with Node.js 6 anymore, because Node.js 8 and 10 has this feature implemented natively, so it's also good for the performance of the tool itself. Let us know if there is any new regression with the new major version, so that we can fix any new bug that could be related to Babel 6, 7, or Webpack 4. That's all. And next is Caitlin.
Oh, I was just going to say, are there any questions about the WebEx release? No.
Sorry.
Okay, so I just wanted to share something that we've been working on for a while. It's called Extension Workshop. And let me just go ahead and share my screen really quickly. So we've been working on this one-stop shop of resources for extension developers. So we're up on staging right now. We're in the process of cutting our first tag to push to production, but I just wanted to share this with you. So our goal for this is that for the signed out view of the developer hub, we're actually going to send folks over to this site. There were a couple of reasons why we couldn't bring it in under AMO. So right now we're just going to do a workaround with a redirect. That basically we just have some information about what extensions, how extensions are built, how you can build one. We link over to some MDN articles. We've got some information about how to port a Chrome extension, got some information about development tools, information about distribution, and how to make a good product page on AMO, links out to the community. We pull in blog posts. We have ways that folks can connect with us. So that's where we are right now with phase, we're calling the landing page, this page, we're calling it phase 1. So we have a request from MDN that we migrate a lot of Firefox specific information off of MDN. And so we're gonna be building out the rest of that site and doing the migration later this year. So I just wanted to share that with y'all in case you hadn't seen it. The GitHub repository is public now since we're really close to release. So if you want to keep an eye on things or let us know how it is, feel free to reach out and say hi. Cool. Okay, who's Will? I think you're up next.
Yeah. Let me try to share my screen. Is this button? Yeah. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So last week I attended a REST training and decided to give WebAssembly and REST a try. And I ended up writing a very small add-on. It's a demo-ish add-on because it doesn't do much. It just reverse a string. But what's interesting here is the setup behind this add-on, and also the fact that we can actually submit WebAssembly bundles to AMO, which means binary code. So we also need to submit the source code, but it's written in Rust. And for reviewers, this may be problematic because it means reviewers have to know Rust, which I think I talked to Andreas about it, and he told me that there is probably 1 or 2 add-ons like this. So it's not really problematic yet, but that could be a potential issue in the near future, a safety issue. Because we can do tricky stuff in JavaScript, but the reviewers are pretty good at reviewing JavaScript code, but for REST code, we can also hide a lot of stuff, and that would be a bit more tricky. So if you are interested in knowing how this add-on works, basically the setup for the button and the small pop-up is in HTML and JavaScript, and below the input where there is the blue text, this is actually built by the Rust code. So Rust hooks into the HTML of this pop-up and creates its own elements. And then there is a very small binding at the JavaScript level. So we import the WebAssembly bundle, and then we just say, okay, let's create all the code. Those two lines construct the blue content, the blue text I was mentioning before, and there is a simple handler here. And when we input text in the first input, HTML input, then we call another method, and this method is actually written in Rust. And so calling this method actually calls the Rust code, and that's how it works. And then it's just regular Rust code that looks weird. So this is the code that is called actually here. So this is just, yeah, more of a demo. I cannot really say it's a demo, otherwise reviewer will actually reject my add-on. It happened to me once for the very first version. So now I say it's a very useful extension for reversing a string, because we always have to do that at some point. And that's it. Thank you.
Just so I understand the workflow, William, is it Rust code to WebAssembly, and then the JavaScript is executing the WebAssembly part? Is that how that's actually working? Okay.
That's it.
Thank you.
And we can have interaction in both sides, like in both directions. I mean, so that's what I try to do here. That's why a part of the pop-up is designed with like plain old HTML and JavaScript, but the rest with the blue text, this is coming from Rust, and so that's one way, and the other way is calling the JavaScript, the Rust code from the JavaScript.
Great.
Well, the cargo tool and the rest of the Rust toolchain needs to be installed separately, right?
Say it again.
The Rust toolchain needs to be installed separately, right? It's not handled by npm, done by the npm plugin.
Yeah, you need. Sorry. You need the full Rust toolchain, and also the WebAssembly toolchain as well. It's a new target for the Rust code, because you basically do some sort of cross compilation. And once you have that, then you can compile your own bundle, WebAssembly bundle, and then at that point, it's handled at the JavaScript level. But I used a template for this project, and it actually combines all the REST and JavaScript tools you need. One is called bindgen. This is the REST thing to compile REST code to WebAssembly. And then there is a CLI, and there is something else coming from a node, like some sort of node CLI, to make both work together. But if you want to check out the code and build everything, you need the REST toolchain, which is why it's also like security concern for reviewers. if we get more WebAssembly-based extensions, because we can also write Go and compile to WebAssembly.
Is the tool generating source maps for the bundle it generates, the WASP bundle?
In this project, no, but I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't look into that. I don't know if it's advanced enough. From what I know, is usually it's Webpack or something similar that generates the source maps. We do have a Webpack set up in this project, but I'm not sure it can actually generate source maps for the REST code, for the WebAssembly code.
Thanks for putting together it. It's going to be simpler to verify how to debug this code in Firefox. I will take a look. Thank you, Will.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for sharing, Will. It looks like Shivam has been able to join our call, so we can scroll back up to the top of our agenda. So Shivam, do you want to share your update? Oh, and we lost him. Okay. I will share his update for him then. So it looks like Shivam and Trishul last month had created an extension that helps users see all of the extensions that they have installed and what permissions they request. And it looks like that's now been it's now available in 31 languages, which is pretty rad. So claps to Trishul and Shivam for doing that. It's pretty cool. Does anyone else, we've got about 15 minutes left on the clock. If anybody else has a demo that they'd like to show off, now would be a great time to do so. Okay. So what I learned from a product management meeting 2 weeks ago is that apparently it takes people 11 seconds after somebody finishes talking to come up with a question. So I'll try to be a little bit more mindful about pausing before moving on. Great. Well, it looks like that's going to wrap us up for February's extensions or add-ons demos meeting. So we'll be back in March. Thanks everybody for making cool stuff. And go out there and have an awesome rest of your day. We'll see you next month.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.